Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Oh, yeah, motherfuckers. Oh, yeah, I'm back. This is your main man, Mr. Can You Dig It? Baton Rouge Mayor. And I'm back with a couple hot ticks of these motherfucking politics. Hit that motherfucker subscribe. Oh, look, America. Donald Trump and his motherfucking war crimes are coming to an end. Man, the Secretary of the Navy just resigned because he's doing war crime and getting pushed by Pete Hegseth, cocaine Pete Hegseth.
Developments in the war and everything around the war in Iran. The Secretary of the U.S. Navy fired from his job in the middle of it all. He's the latest top military official forced out of the Pentagon during a war.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps says that it seized 2 ships crossing the Strait of Hormuz, but the White House says it does not consider the actions a violation of the ceasefire.
Yeah, meanwhile, a new report claims that it could take months to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, even if there is a deal with Iran.
Oh, look, America. If the Secretary of the United States Navy is resigning because of Donald Trump is making these people commit war crime and Pete Hegseth, cocaine Pete, lockboy.
Overnight, NBC News learned tensions between Phelan and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had been mounting, according to multiple sources familiar with the relationship. The approach Phelan was taking when it came to shipbuilding appears to have been the main reason for the firing, multiple sources say. A senior administration official telling NBC News President Trump and Secretary Hegseth agreed new leadership at the Navy is needed. Replacing him as acting head of the Navy will be Undersecretary Hung Cao, a combat veteran who ran unsuccessful campaigns for the House and Senate in Virginia. It's the latest shakeup at the Pentagon, coming just weeks after Hegseth forced out the Army's top uniformed officer and 2 other Army generals.
Oh, look, America. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, the most dishonest press secretary in American motherfucking history. Do not believe those lies. She a demon. Put the handcuffs on her. Lock her motherfucking ass out.
As you all saw yesterday, President Trump announced an extension of the ceasefire. He's maintaining and generously offering a bit of flexibility to a regime who has been completely tarnished because of Operation Epic Fury. There's obviously a lot of internal division. This is a battle between the pragmatists and the hardliners in Iran right now, and the president wants a unified response.
Oh, look, America. The top officer of the Army is fired. The top Navy Army officer is fired. All because Donald Trump trying to push these men up to commit war crime. Put the handcuffs on his ass. Lock his mother.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth fired Army Chief of Staff Randy George on Thursday, the latest purge among the Pentagon's most senior ranks. That's according to 2 defense officials and a source familiar with the matter who spoke to Reuters. The Pentagon confirmed that George, who had more than a year left in his term, will be retiring effective immediately. The department did not give a reason for George's departure, but said in a statement it was grateful for his decades of service. An infantry officer who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, George was confirmed to the top Army post in 2023. Terms in the role usually run for 4 years. Prior to the job, he was the vice chief of the Army, and before that, the senior military advisor to then Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. The office for George did not immediately respond to a request for comment. His departure comes as the U.S. military builds up its forces in the Middle East while carrying out operations against Iran.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump and cocaine Pete Hegseth is carrying out a massive purge on our military. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are the main ones who started this shit. Lock they motherfucking
35 days into Donald Trump's Iran war, and there's also a purge happening at the Pentagon. Yesterday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth asked the Army's top general to step down from his role and retire immediately. Army Chief of Staff General Randy George made it almost 3 of his 4 years in the position as a Biden appointee. The Pentagon confirmed the firing but did not give a reason why. He's not the only official on Hegseth's chopping block. 2 additional Army generals were also fired alongside George. 2 defense officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity told the Washington Post. According to The Atlantic, quote, Officials at the White House are also discussing the future of Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, a close friend of Vice President Vance. People familiar with the matter told us. One Pentagon official said Driscoll was expected to leave the department soon. Hegseth has been waging this purge of the Pentagon for weeks. Reports allege Hegseth has personally moved to stall or block the military promotions for more than a dozen senior officers. Hegseth's poll numbers show he has limited credibility with the American people. This week, before the firing, Hegseth's job approval rating hit an all-time low of 35%. That means 65% disapprove of Secretary Hegseth's performance in the middle of a war.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump is in cognitive decline, and Cocaine Pete Hegseth is an alcoholic, ex-failed Fox News rapist. Okay, even our motherfucking military is quitting on Donald Trump. Lock his motherfucking ass.
The U.S. military did update their casualty numbers today. In addition to the 13 U.S. service members killed in this chaotic war, the number of wounded U.S. Marines in this conflict now stands at 19. The number of wounded U.S. Air Force airmen stands at 62. The number of U.S. Navy sailors wounded stands at 63. And the number of U.S. Army soldiers wounded in this Iran war stands at 271. That means the current tally, provided we can trust these numbers from the Pentagon, the current tally is 415 U.S. wounded, 13 killed.
Oh, look, America, at the worst motherfucking time, and while the Ayatollah motherfuckers is shooting at us, Donald Trump had fired all our top generals. The son of a bitch is sick. Put the handcuffs on him. Lock his motherfucker.
Including roughly half of its cruise and ballistic launchers, as well as thousands and thousands of one-way attack drones, despite the daily strikes by the United States and Israel at military targets across Iran for the last 5 weeks. This is from the latest CNN report. And even before the CNN report, it's exactly what we've been telling you at the Midas Touch Network. We've been saying Iran has thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of Shahi drones, FPV drones for those drone swarms, and ballistic missile capabilities have still not been severely degraded. Maybe 1/3 of the ballistic missile and launchers have been degraded, but I always thought there was like 2/3 of those ballistic missiles that could be accessed along with their launchers.
Oh, look, America. Cocaine Pete Hegseth. Cocaine Pete Hegseth, America, is a former Fox News weekend host who never held a senior military command. Now he has removed a joint chief of staff, the Army chief of staff, and the commander of transformation and training. How the fuck could a Fox cocaine head rapist, Cocaine Pete Hegseth, fire these men? These men who keep America safe. Cocaine Pete Hegseth was accused of rape and sexual abuse on the job while drinking. Cocaine Pete Hegseth is an ex-Fox News host. Put the handcuffs on that bitch. Spin his pussy ass around. Kick him in his ass. Lock his motherfucking ass up. And every motherfucking body in that administration that's let...
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked Army Chief of Staff General Randy George to step down. A Pentagon spokesperson says General George, who has had the post since August of 2023, will be retiring effective immediately. No reason was given. The Department of War announcing 2 other top generals have been fired. General David Hogney, head of the Army's Transformation and Training Command, as well as Major General William Green, the Army's Chief of Chaplains.
Oh, look, America. Cocaine Pete Hegseth has fired 26 generals and admirals in 14 months. Put the handcuffs on that cocaine head bitch. Lock his motherfucker.
U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth addressed hundreds of American military officials at a base in Virginia where he criticized the appearance of generals.
Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Hegseth says he wants to see all fitness tests set to male benchmarks and emphasize the importance of grooming. He also slammed diversity initiatives that he claims led to decades of decay in the military, adding commanders should resign if they don't support his agenda. Joined by President Donald Trump, the two declared an end to the woke culture in the military and targeted other policies of past administrations.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump think he's slick. Now, it was the reason why this son of a bitch fired the army chief. Just because he want to bring in a motherfucker he just brought in after he done fired the man that gonna go and shoot Iranians that's trying to place motherfucking mines in the water. Now, America don't have nothing to do with that shit, but Donald Trump then got him another duck to go in there. Trump ordered U.S. Navy to fire on Iranian boats placing mines in the Strait of Hormuz. That is the disaster. America, Donald Trump is getting phonies and robots to go in there to do his dirty work. America, put the handcuffs on that son of a bitch. Spin his motherfucking ass around. Lock his motherfucking ass up. Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and the whole motherfucking justice system. And everybody at the motherfucking Pentagon.
President Trump said this morning that he has ordered the U.S. Navy to, quote, shoot and kill Iranian small boats that are laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Natalie Brand has the latest from D.C.
We intend to conduct the boarding of your vessel.
The Defense Department released new video of U.S. forces boarding a sanctioned vessel in the Indian Ocean that the military says was transporting oil from Iran. The Pentagon says it will continue to stop vessels providing material support to Tehran and says more than 30 vessels have been turned around as part of the U.S. blockade. President Trump this morning said no ship can enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz without U.S. approval until Iran can make a deal. He also warned he's ordered the U.S. Navy to shoot and kill any Iranian small boats putting mines in the strait.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump has replaced our Joint Chief of the Army, our Joint Chief of the Navy, with a motherfucker named Young Cow. Who the fuck is Young Cow? Now, Young Cow is another dumb motherfucker that Donald Trump just made go over there and shoot all motherfucking Iranians that's in boats planting mines. That is an escalation. I thought it was a de-escalation and a ceasefire. Now the Ayatollah motherfuckers don't want to trust you. Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and this other Young Cow motherfucker need to be brought in front of the American people, kicked in their motherfucking ass, and locked the fuck up. All them motherfuckers, the whole justice system, the Pentagon, the White House, the Republican Party, including MAGA, all you...
The Pentagon announced today Navy Secretary John Phelan is leaving the position. Taking over as acting head of the Navy is 54-year-old Hung Cao, the current undersecretary. While Cao, a Vietnamese refugee, currently resides in Virginia, he has connections to the Panhandle. From 2013 until 2016, Cao was commander of the Naval during Diving and Salvage Training Center at Naval Support Activity, Panama City. Assuming the role of commander in September 2013, Cao trained over 4,000 men and women during his career at the NSA. In June 2016, he relinquished command to Commander Cameron Chen and headed to the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. after retiring from the Navy in 2021 as a captain. Cao ran for Virginia's 10th congressional seat in 2022 and ran for United States Senate in 2024 with the endorsement from President Donald Trump. However, lost both races. John Phelan's departure is effective immediate, and Cao is expected to take over as soon as possible.
Oh, look, America. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking motherfucking news. Okay. Cocaine Cash Patel has done it again. All right, we already got the film in the pictures of your punk ass gogging out Miller High Lifes in the Rocky Mountains with the motherfucking hockey team on the taxpayer dime. Now, America, this son of a bitch has sent the FBI agents to escort his motherfucking girlfriend all around the country on the taxpayer's dime. You know what we could do with both of them bitches, huh? Put the handcuffs on both of them. Grab that bitch, too. Put the handcuffs on her too. Spin they motherfucking ass around. Kick them in the ass. Lock both of their motherfucking ass up. They've been running on the government's dime since they've been in that motherfucker.
This nonsense about, oh, you're taking a private jet. We're taking the FBI plane because Congress 20 years ago said FBI directors are not allowed to take commercial air travel. Ever.
Some have said Patel's chummy tone amid an ongoing FBI manhunt for the Brown University mass shooter was out of touch. Among the critics is California Governor Gavin Newsom, who wrote, "Good to know he's got time to hop on a taxpayer-funded private jet to record a podcast with his girlfriend."
Right now, in the middle of this massive crisis that his people are working, you're forcing them, expecting them to work 24 hours a day for days and days on end. To be appearing like this, talking about your personal life, it's really a dispiriting message to the troops.
According to Miller, the interview was conducted before the December 13th shooting.
Oh, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking motherfucking news. Okay, the Office of Inspector General is just now launching an investigation against Pam Bundy and Todd Blanche over the Epstein files and the Epstein cover-up. Donald Trump, we ain't forgot. But back to Pam Bundy. Pam Bundy, bitch, you lied under motherfucking oath. You said you had the Epstein files on your desk ready to go, then you didn't. You said ain't nothing to look at in the motherfucking Epstein files, and they do. You said Donald Trump's name wasn't in there, and his fucking name in there. I know what to do with that skank from Florida, you Botox face bitch. Put the handcuffs on her. Put the handcuffs on Ty Blanche's ass too. Turn they motherfucking ass around. Spin them two bitches again. Lock both of they motherfucking ass up. And the rest of you motherfuckers that's in that motherfucking administration, they got...
You mean victims' names that were released that shouldn't have been?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
so,
also other ID
so under the Epstein Transparency Act, we had 30 days to redact and release, under the law that was passed, 3 million documents. If you stack those up, that's the height of the Eiffel Tower. No other administration, under the Biden administration, they released 0 documents. So we did our very best to comply with the law. And of course, we don't want any victim to be further victimized. And that's why we had 500 attorneys with the Criminal Division, with the National Security Division, with the FBI working around the clock to do the best we could. I think it was less than 1% error. Todd, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, that's right. We said from the beginning that any mistakes that were made, and there should be no mistakes. And so when you say lawyers have said something, that's not a fair question, and you know it.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump poll ratings is the worst in American history. It's 30%, only 30 motherfucking percent of the country like Donald Trump. Kick his ass in his ass. Look.
Also new at 11, a new poll showing how the war in Iran is affecting voters' confidence in President Trump. In a new AP North poll, his overall approval rating dropped to 33%. Only 30% of respondents approved of his handling of the economy, an 8% drop from last month. 76% disapprove of how the president is handling the cost of living specifically. More people are growing cynical about the overall economy as well. 73% now describing it as poor, up from 66% in February. The poll comes as Americans are grappling with inflation and record gas prices brought on by the war in Iran.
Oh, look, America. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, the Donald Trump bootlicker. Now, let me remind y'all who Howard Lutnick is. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, was the one who lied on national TV and called Jeffrey Epstein disgusting. He never been in that room with him, not 5 minutes. And we come to find out this son of a bitch had been to Epstein Island. He been hanging with motherfucking Epstein. He got pictures with Epstein. Even his motherfucking church was at the island. So that was a lie. That's the same motherfucker that was in the Epstein files and said he wasn't. You know he's a fucking crook. Put the handcuffs on that bitch. Spin his pussy ass around. Spin his ass again. Lock his motherfucking ass up. He ain't nothing but a motherfucking predator.
Why did the Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person.
Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary.
Oh, look, America. Howard Lutnick is having his fucking day handed to him by the Democrats. He's lying again. He's switching the story. We know your pussy ass was on that island. Lock his motherfucking...
This morning, as lawmakers prepare to view the Department of Justice's unredacted files on Jeffrey Epstein, new questions about Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's relationship with the deceased convicted sex offender.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Just months ago, Lutnick, who lived next door to Epstein for more than a decade,
That's my story. A one and absolutely done.
After a visit to Epstein's home, describing him as gross.
I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage?
But part of the 3 million pages of newly released DOJ files show Lutnick and Epstein remained in contact well past 2005, as recently as 2018. One email with Epstein's schedule for May 1st, 2011, showing plans for drinks with Lutnick. And in December 2012, other documents showing Lutnick and his family plan to visit Epstein's private island. At the end of that month, the two both investing in the same business, their signatures seen here on legal documents. Some of these interactions with Lutnick coming years after Epstein first pled guilty to sex crimes in 2008.
Oh, look, America. Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, is trying to lie his motherfucking way out of Congress right now. Howard Lutnick and his motherfucking family has been banking off him and Donald Trump by them two being connected to the government. His churn, both of his sons are getting rich off deals that Howard Lutnick, because he in the fucking administration, the hookup he can give him on being the Commerce Secretary, he is letting his sons run a lottery. Howard Lutnick was a crook all along. You know what we can do with this bitch, huh? Put the handcuffs on this motherfucking ass. Kick him in his ass. Spin his pussy ass around. Spin him again. Lock his motherfucking ass up. Him, his children, his family, his wife, every motherfucking body has something.
But I am here today to testify about the budget, and I look forward to discussing the president's budget with you today. But I am volunteering within 2 weeks to answer any and all questions on this topic.
Well, Mr. Secretary, I'm aware of that. We presented you with questions and requests from this committee that have not been responded to. So we're going to have to continue to pursue that. We will follow closely what happens in that proceeding. I hope you will provide them with the materials that we hope to secure here as well. And again, the reason I'm asking this question at this hearing is because we didn't get a response to the letter. No response at all to that earlier letter.
Oh, look, America. Howard Lutnick is a duck in a Donald Trump stools. How the fuck You in charge of the Commerce Secretary, you don't know how many manufacturer jobs was lost. Put the handcuffs on that bitch. Lock his mother.
One of the big promises from President Trump was bringing back manufacturing jobs.
We will bring back our manufacturing jobs. I will turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower more than it has ever been.
There's just a bit of a problem going on here. How about those manufacturing jobs? In December of 2025, compared to the beginning of the Donald Trump presidency, the manufacturing jobs have gone adios amigos. See you later. They've been going away, down 63,000 versus January of 2025, with an even larger collapse since Liberation Day, right? So what we're dealing with is a Donald Trump message that is not actually meeting the reality.
The president promised that his tariffs would lead to a manufacturing boom, but so far, it's looking more like a bust.
Oh, look, America. Howard Lutnick is trying to lie and said he ain't have no contact with Jeffrey Epstein besides 2005. That's a fucking lie. 2018, you was on a yacht popping bottles with that bitch. Lock his mother.
The American people wants to know, why did you lie about your relationship with Epstein?
The House Oversight Committee and I have agreed
We
that
are
we will
the
spend
appropriate
the time
reclaiming my
together.
time. I do not accept that answer. We've heard that one. We are our own committee. We have our own reason to test your credibility and veracity. Please answer the question. Why did you lie to the Post?
I have voluntarily agreed
Okay,
to spend the time and talk about it.
I reclaim the time. Let the record reflect you're dodging the question. The cover-up continues. You know what? In your conversations with the president, is the president concerned about your continued relationship that you had with Mr. Epstein as recently as 2018?
I am not going to discuss conversations I have with the president. That is not something I'm going to do.
If you remember in that interview, you said you would never be in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. President Trump has just fired 3 cabinet secretaries, 3 women, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Lori Chavez-DeRemer. If President Trump has even a shred of concern about accountability for Jeffrey Epstein's enablers, he would fire you too.
Oh, look, America. Let me tell you how big this motherfucker scam is with Howard Lutnick, who used to be with Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump at Epstein Island. Okay, Donald Trump has got a card called a Trump card. Used to be a green card, right? But it's a Trump card, gold card. That just one card he's selling to foreigners, $1 million to be a resident in the United States. That is called trafficking in the worst motherfucking way. Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick are grifters. They are bad for American economy and American people. I tell you what you could do with both of them son of a bitches. Put the handcuffs on. Lock they motherfucking ass up. They been grifting the government ever since he been in that motherfucker.
President Trump directed you, in coordination with the Secretary of State and Homeland, to establish a gold card visa program. As you know, people who are able to pay at least $1 million into Commerce's gift account are eligible for permanent legal residence and potentially citizenship. How many of these applications have been approved, and how many gifts have been received by Commerce?
They have approved recently 1 person, and there are hundreds in the queue that they are going through the process. But this is a new program, and they've just set it up, and they wanted to make sure they did it perfectly. And so we've worked through that. But it's a DHS program done with a rigorous vetting.
Do you know how the department would intend to spend the billions of dollars in the gift account?
That will be determined by the administration, and its terms are for the betterment of the United States of America. It needs to be for commerce and the betterment of the United States of America.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump is sick. The son of a bitch don't know what he doing in this war. First he said it's a ceasefire. Then he said kill everybody. Then he said he got to think about it again and it might be some kind of deal. Donald Trump is a cognitive motherfucking decline, America. Donald Trump don't know the day from night. He wears a pamper. He's in the Epstein file. He's selling Bitcoin. He's selling shoes. He's selling alcohol. He's selling stamps. Donald Trump needs to be locked up and put in motherfucking jail. These are the words he just put on Twitter, but he claimed it's finna be a ceasefire. If there are two factions in Iran, one that don't want a deal and the one that doesn't, let's kill the ones who doesn't want a deal. Do that sound like a leader? Lock his mother.
U.S. forces stopped and boarded another sanctioned tanker carrying oil from Iran in the Indian Ocean today, a bid to ramp up pressure on the Iranians, who also have been seizing cargo ships this week. This morning, President Trump threatened to shoot and kill any Iranian boat laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz, meaning it'll likely remain closed and the global oil and gas supply shock will continue.
Oh, look, America. Don't believe nothing Donald Trump cognitive decline ass is saying. This is what he just wrote out to the American people. Iran is having a very hard time figuring out who's their leader, who their leader is. They just don't know. Their infighting is between the hardliners who've been losing badly on the battlefield and the moderates who are not very moderate at all, but gaining respect is crazy. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz. No ship can enter, leave, or without approval of the United States. The United States Navy, it is sealed up tight until such time as Iran able to make a deal. That is false, America. He's bullshitting. The people already came out there and said they shooting choppers in the Strait of Hormuz. The bitch is lying. Kick him in his ass. Put the handcuffs on him. Lock his motherfucker.
Now all we're doing is sitting back and seeing what deal. And if they don't want to make a deal, then I'll finish it up militarily with the other 25% of the targets. We've hit 78% of the targets that we've wanted to hit. We've knocked out their manufacturing. We've knocked out their missile production. We've knocked out their drone production. We've knocked out everything.
Oh, look, America. Donald Trump just wrapped up one of his speeches at the Oval Office. This son of a bitch is losing his mind. America, Donald Trump just told the media that he saved 8 little girls that was finna get executed today when he called the Ayatollah and told them don't execute them, and the Ayatollah called him back and said we will not execute them. We just gonna let 4 of them go and let 4 stay in jail for a month. America, that is false. That is a lie. That never happened. That never occurred. This son of a bitch is lying to the American people and all of us. That shit didn't even happen. Put the handcuffs on that bitch. Take that bitch pampered out. Spin his pussy ass around. Lock his motherfucking ass up. And every motherfucker by.
Let's get right to this breaking news. Iranian media confirms its Revolutionary Guard attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz just hours after President Donald Trump indefinitely extended the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. Meanwhile, some other big news. The world watches how Iran responds to dissent. President Trump just posted to Truth Social moments ago saying that Iran, at his request, will not execute 8 women protesters who were scheduled to be killed tonight. Quote, 4 will be released immediately. 4 will be sentenced to 1 month in prison. Close quote.